Why don't we start with, what is your name?
My name is Rachel, and I'm the owner of Vintage Redeux, which is my lovely little booth here.
What is the meaning of the name of your business?
So, Vintage Redeux in the beginning was me and my partner, and I was just trying to like come up with different. So redo is like REDO because I rework a lot of the vintage stuff. And so I was like, okay, and I was just playing around with like wordplay. But when I wrote out like REDO, I was like, this is very boring. Like it just doesn't. And since I had a partner, I was like, what about like do like to in French? So then like I had written like REDEUX, and I was like, that looks a lot cooler. And so it just kind of stuck. And even though she's not around, the name is still around.
Why don't you describe your business to someone who's never seen it before?
Vintage Redeux is a mix, half upcycled stuff. So it's just found objects that I tailor, take in, upgrade, add stuff to, take stuff away. So to just kind of like bring it up to date or just make like a fun new take on it. And then it's also mixed in with just like hand-picked vintage pieces. It's usually something fun that's like thrown in to complement the other pieces that I have upcycled. And so everything is just kind of a menagerie of eclectic pieces that, you know, I like to put together and then mixed in with a few accessories and everything to round it out. Yeah, I'll show you a few pieces. Good morning. Did you want to grab that? Yes, absolutely. So this was something I was going to show actually is these crop shirts do really well right now. They're like an oversized men's shirt, but I feel like instead of swallowing your whole body by cropping it, it's like a good way to make it wearable for everybody in their shape. Blazers do really well here, but I feel like a way to kind of like upgrade them or update them is by putting some fun fur on it. So I like to take vintage blazers and then just add this like crazy fur around the neck, which I feel like really gives them that statement for like you can just wear a white shirt underneath and some jeans and you're like good to go. This is like my take on a crop sweater, and so it's taking the original sweater, cutting it in half, but then reapplying the ribbing at the bottom so it looks like it's still the sweater in its original form, but not just cut in half like you did it at home. And so I just feel like that's just like a fun way to kind of update that like oversized baggy sweater as well.
And then what would you say is your art or expertise?
I like to do a little bit of everything. Embroider pieces. I like to make like patches from felt and sew those on the jackets. I really am that type of person that like if I see a craft or I see a skill or a technique, I want to learn it right away, and then I will figure out how to learn it and adapt it to like what I'm doing. So anything that I really can get my hands on. At the core of it, it's sewing. I do a lot of sewing. But aside from that, I love doing any sort of embellishing or reworking in a way that I could try to do with clothing itself.
How would you describe your style, or do you have a specific style that you pull from that you want to sell? Or?
I am just that person that like wants something for everyone. So like I will have stuff from the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, Y2K. Like my customers are the young girl, but also her grandmother as well. Like I love to just have like an eclectic mix of everything for everyone. And I really just think it's like what catches your eye more than anything. So I like to be bold. I like to be playful. I like things to stand out at you and to like own that piece, and when you walk away to know like that's Vintage Redeux.
How was it bringing your business to the Melrose Trading Post?
Originally I started just online. Back then it was really just like Etsy or like kind of more those creative places that you could sell, and I would just like make all these things and then I would be like frustrated. Like I'd just be like, okay, like Now I'm twiddling my thumbs, like I made it, I put it online, like now what do I do? I just started looking at like local markets, and I always came here growing up, and I've always loved Melrose Trading Post. And so when I had the opportunity to sell here, I knew like this is it, like this is my place, this is where I get to see people, like these are my people. And I've been at the market for 12 years. It's flown by. It doesn't feel like that. And every time I get like a Facebook reminder of like, hey, you've been here this long, I'm like, oh my gosh, like this is insane. But I love it. It's something I look forward to every Sunday. Doing a business by yourself, a lot of the times, it's just me at home. And so Sunday's the one day that I get to come out and talk to people and meet new faces and really get like face-to-face time with customers. And it's just like something I look forward to every week.
What do you think keeps you coming to Melrose Trading Post as opposed to any other flea market in Los Angeles?
That's a great question. I have done every single market in LA. I've done the Rose Bowl. I've done all the flea markets. I've done markets at festivals. I've done little holiday markets. I've done pop-up markets. I've done everything. But Melrose is consistent. Melrose is every Sunday, and I used to do like Rose Bowl every now and then. But the customers that you find and the loyalty that you find, they want to find you here every Sunday. They don't know when there was a Rose Bowl weekend or something like that. So it's great that like you can be in one place, you know, and people will ask like, where's your store? And I'm like, it's at Melrose on Sundays. So this has kind of become my little permanent space and my shop where like everybody can come on Sunday.
Do you have a favorite memory or favorite people?
I have just like the best customers, like, and not necessarily ones that shop with me every week, but people just love to like talk to you.
Yeah.
And I love talking. And so I'm just always like that open book that's like, tell me about your week. What's a good movie you saw? And so it's just like, it's so nice to just have those people where like, you know, they look forward to seeing you as much as you see them every week. And then on top of that, it's just like, I think it never gets old when there's like a random celebrity or pro athlete or someone that like buys something from you and you're just like inside you're like squealing a little bit like, oh my god, they just got something, but don't act like you know them.
Do you have any other vendors that you love to shop?
The RX Candle Girls have the best smelling anything and everything, and my house is constantly smelling like them because it's just the best. Grace from I Am Muse is such a great cohort. She's a great person to just kind of, we all are like-minded. And then of course Vita Kush, which is Rihanna, who's nice to me, is like my partner in crime here, and she just, I wouldn't be able to do this market for this long without her, you know, and I really feel like we helped build each other up and really like become the successful brands that we are by being here every Sunday and showing up for each other.
Thank you so much. This was a
course.
great interview.
Thanks for coming by.